All right, y'all, welcome to the Chrysler Pacifica. It's not too often I get a minivan on here, but this is the only plug-in hybrid minivan at this current time. So this offers you excellent range while having some EV range all in one. So this is definitely more than a regular hybrid because you can plug in, but we'll talk about all the details in just a bit. Let's start out up front. So we're gonna focus on this plug-in hybrid version, and let's go through the trim levels. We've got the base Select, S Appearance, and the Pinnacle model, which is shown here for the plug-in hybrid. Now, the grille surrounds are gonna vary depending on what trim you get. You know, they try to dress these minivans up, but I'd love to know what your thoughts are as far as the overall aesthetic. One nice thing that we get is LED headlights as standard, LED running light as well, signature light in there or an accent light, and even LED fog lights as standard on this plug-in hybrid. One thing about this van, I've actually gotten compliments on it, on the paint. This is Fathom Blue Pearl. It looks like greenish blue. It's very nice looking. It's really sleek. What are your thoughts? The wheels are gonna range from 17 to 18 inches, and we have 18-inch wheels on this top Pinnacle trim. One underappreciated feature is the fact that you got turn signals in here, but we also have automatic dimming mirrors on this top trim, and they power fold on every model except the base model, and heated mirrors are standard. You've got your charging door right here. We'll talk about the charging specs in a little bit. You can pop that open for your charger. And dimensionally, this van is 204 inches long. So that's kind of right in the pack with minivans, bigger than quite a few three-row crossovers, but some of the larger three-row SUVs are certainly bigger than this. You've got the roof rails up there as well. Coming to the back, you're gonna get standard LED taillights here. Got that connecting light bar here as well. What do you think? Now, as we approach the back, this is where minivans really set themselves apart compared to other vehicles. I absolutely love the area behind the third row. So a power liftgate is standard, but we have the hands-free on this particular model. That is even optional on the base and standard on the rest of them. You still have grab handles up there, and if you're wondering where's the button to lower it, it is on the inside of this particular model. But look how cavernous this is. You have all the depth. Most of the time with SUVs, the floor is higher, first of all, and then it's just, there's nothing under there, maybe just a little secret spot, but there is so much space back here, and there's nothing that gets in the way. It is just nice and smooth carpet. And if you've got these seats up, check it out. You've got all of these hooks right here to sling grocery bags galore. Absolutely fantastic. And 12-volt power outlet up here. You've still got some fixed tie downs here as well. It's amazing. And then to lower this down, you pull the strap down there first, it'll release it, and then you can pull this and boom, just like that. So here's one thing with the plug-in hybrid. The middle seats do not have the stow and go function like you've seen in Chrysler and Dodge minivans for a long time. These third row seats still can, but we have the battery pack under the floor there, so those cannot. They can be taken out, but they cannot be folded down. So keep that in mind going for the plug-in hybrid. Get this sucker down in there. Look at that. So much space, and it's just so tall. I've got a buddy with a minivan, and he calls it a truck with the roof. Now, you can still fold these seats kind of flat like that if you're gonna haul like this, but you know, you've got plenty of space back there. You can still have people in the middle. And one little perk is that we actually have a 3-prong outlet back here on this side as well. So, I mean, you can clear out this entire area. Otherwise, you've still got tons of space behind the third row or even behind these upright second row seats too. Now, here is the key fob for this Pacifica. And you can open up the doors, double tap, open up the lift gate, double tap, and remote start, double tap. It's a nice key fob. It feels pretty solid as well. And it's simple enough to use. You know where the buttons are to open things up, which is great. And the smart key system works like this. So this little button right there, you can lock it. You can also do that on the back door as well, or you've got a sensor in the back to unlock it and you're good to go. And with the hands-free kicking of the back door and the lift gate, you hardly ever need your key because it's also push button start in there. Now on the door panel, you've got a mix of pretty nice soft materials and practicality with the little cubby there. You can even call the door handle a cubby, a bottle holder down there, and another cubby right there. Don't forget about your memory settings, 2-position memory settings there. And these seats are pretty nice as well. The base model is going to give you leatherette, so the fake leather, but this is going to be leather. We even have Napa leather on these next couple of trims, which is great. You've got this unique stitching on here too. It's actually got pretty good bolstering on the side, and the headrest is not intrusively far forward. So overall, I would say these are some comfortable seats. Another perk to me is that there's 4-way adjustable lumbar support down here, and the steering wheel is a leather-wrapped heated wheel as standard. These seats are heated as standard, and the passenger seat even gets some lumbar adjustment as well, which is even optional on the base model. So you got leather seats, you've got memory settings as standard, heated seats as standard. If you want ventilated seats, we've got them on this top Pinnacle trim. The ventilated seats are also on the S Appearance model. Overall, good comfort for these seats. Now climbing into the second row, check it out. We have, I'm gonna slide my foot under there, the hands-free second row sliding doors. That is nice. That is standard on this trim or optional on the lower 2 trims. Power doors are standard no matter what. And this is another reason that minivans set themselves apart. Having doors that go like this is really convenient, and you have a ton of space to be able to get in here, especially if you're loading kids into car seats. And take a look at this. We even get our own little pillows in the second row. That is pretty cool. Now, sitting behind myself, this is where I have this seat at 5'9". You know, it does go back quite a ways, and with a rear-facing car seat, this could be kind of problematic, especially because, bam, we have these built-in TV screens in the back of this seat. That is not something that I expected. So a lot of times you have these massive units that just kind of sit here. It used to be the fold down in the middle, but now this is what we get. You've got some plugs on both seat backs right there. You've got headphones that come with it. On the seat back, you've got these hooks, which are also great for grocery bags or items or like little trash bags. So mom and dad can still reach back here. The kids can put stuff in the trash, etc. The back seat is still a great place to be, and you can even get this entertainment system, which is really cool. There's still your hooks up above. We've got air conditioning vents up above here as well, and a grab handle to get inside on both sides. Plus we get our climate controls up there. This is a 3-zone system, so the back seat gets their own particular zone. One other nice thing is the built-in sunshades. Now with this van, because of this design, it doesn't cover a whole lot of the window like some other vehicles do, but this is actually on the Pinnacle trim and optional on other trims. This second row seat can scoot all the way up, and if I go all the way up, I can't quite put my knees there, but that gives you a lot of room. Now right here, check it out. We've got this big giant space, and we can pull this out. Look at that. This is like a giant pass-through. It's like a little subway train in the middle of your center console to move some stuff. We also have these cup holders that you can take in and out. Just a massive open bin. That could be handy to store your headphones and items that you're going to use with your entertainment system. The other cool thing is we have these armrests. Surprisingly, these are not ratcheting, but you've got them on both sides, and we can recline these seats a long ways back. I mean, there's a ton of room right here. So if you've got the third row down and completely flat with all that storage, you still have good space in the second row. Now, one thing I've learned when you compare minivans is that the second row is really where a lot of differences are. So we forget about this plug-in hybrid. You got the regular Pacifica. You've got the stow and go seats where they fold into the floor, and you've got this completely flat floor going all the way back. They're the only ones that can do that. But you've got other models like Honda, their middle seats can slide side to side. Toyota's middle seats can go way back. So you've got like extreme movement of the second row seat. The middle seat folds out, so you can technically have 3. But the stow and go is king of cargo with that, being able to just fold your seat down. So it really depends on what's important to you. A lot of the vans are going to be so similar in many ways with the way they drive, with the space on the inside, but the second row seat is one of the big factors. I have not been in the Kia Carnival yet, so I can't really comment on that. Now, getting into the third row is a little bit more cumbersome for younger kids than it probably needs to be. A lot of vehicles will have a button you can push or a lever down low you can push to move it out of the way, but this one is a lever up here to where the seat folds, and then it releases to be able to let you get in. Now, obviously, with that seat back, you can still climb around and still have room to do that. But let's say I wanted to go this way, and then you have pretty good room getting in and out. Now I've got this seat all the way back, and in the third row, another thing about minivans is you don't have to have as long of a vehicle to have good legroom in the third row. I still have good legroom, and this seat's not like super low to where my legs feel like they're super high. It's actually reasonably comfortable, especially when you can throw a leg out in the middle. Back here, I also get cup holders, and same thing, you get these sunshades in the third row. You've got third row AC vents, third row lighting. There's even a camera, because I'll show you what that's all about in a little bit. Plus you've got 2 USB ports on that side, and these seats can also be adjusted. You technically have a middle passenger available, and this might actually be wide enough. I've got a pretty wide body, and there's still room for a smaller person right there, so kids could probably fit 3 across back here. And I can sit up tall without my head touching. Pretty good. Now push button start is right there. Go ahead and start it up, and since this is a plug-in hybrid, sometimes it can be completely on EV, but look, we even have this message, which you can customize whether it shows up as the vehicle's ready to drive. But if it says ready over there, then you're good to go. Now, a couple things to note. You can see 8 miles of electric range, 283 miles overall of range, and then 275 of your gas range. You even have a battery percentage indicator up at the top. So the EV factor of this we'll talk about in the test drive and what that is like. Now the interior looks very similar to what we've seen in other Chrysler and Dodge models. This can control this screen, and there's a lot of different stuff you can do on this screen. This is the standard screen. Every trim has this. There's a lot of vehicle specific information that you can go through. I wish this was a little bit more customizable, but there's still a lot of information which can come in handy. You can even see some of the hybrid info, for example, like your MPG. You can see what your instantaneous MPG is as well. This shows you when you're driving on more of the flow of power, which we can see more on that screen as well. We've got our distance pacing, the adaptive cruise control function down here, and you can even hit that if you just want regular cruise control as well. So you don't have to toggle through any settings to turn that off or on. Hit this one for the radar cruise and hit this one for regular cruise control. All the light settings are pretty self-explanatory over here, including our fog lights, interior brightness control there as well, so that is nice. Windshield wiper stock over there. The volume and seeking buttons for the radio are on the back of the steering wheel, just like we get on some others. And this is a nice, big, bulky, gripped steering wheel. I really do like driving this around. Now, as we come over here with this larger screen, this is the standard Uconnect 5 10.1-inch display. Now, I do like Uconnect for the most part. I think it's got a lot of good things going for it, but almost every single time or every week I get a vehicle with Uconnect, I have some sort of little glitch, whether the screen freezes or something doesn't work right. And I had that just with Apple CarPlay, which could be an Apple CarPlay problem instead. But we have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is fantastic. We also have a wireless charging mat down there too, which is on the top 2 trims. So you don't have to be plugged in, which is really nice. But you still have all of your typical controls for the Uconnect and Chrysler settings. I mean, look at this. There's so much customization with all of the different things in this vehicle. You could spend a long time going through here and customizing everything. It's really nice. Even like the screen we're on, let's see here, go down, the hands-free power liftgate, hands-free power sliding door. You can even turn those off if you want. Go to the e-hybrid system up here, and if you watch the power flow, you can see if you're in electric mode or hybrid mode or how that's been going. Even set up your own personal schedules here if you charge at home, which would be really convenient. Another cool thing, go into reverse and check this out. We have this 360 surround view camera, standard on the Pinnacle. It's optional on other trims. You can see really well. Check it out. I mean, it's nice to have. You've still got dynamic lines. But let me show you another cool thing standard on here. Go to controls, go to fam cam, and boom, check it out. You can spy on your kids. Right now it's highlighted on that one. I want to check out what this one's doing. Maybe I want to see what's going on in the third row. This is great. You can buy systems, like individual cameras that you can plug into your vehicle and mimic this, but this is built in. You don't have to worry about it, and it works great. It's really nice to be able to see that. Another bonus with minivans. Another thing that we have on here is parking sensors. You've got your lane keeping or lane departure system right there. Down here we've got dual zone climate control for us and a third zone technically for the rear. You can dive deeper into the climate on here. I don't really like how the climate numbers show up on the screen. I wish everything could kind of be in one section, but there's more you can do up here. You can do rear settings as well. So, you know, you can do everything you need to, and there's so much information on the screen available, but it gets to be a little bit overwhelming at times. We have an electronic parking brake down here, an actual volume knob, a tuning knob, and when we are driving, we actually have a parking assist. It's called Active Park Assist. It will help you steer, but you control the brake and the accelerator. So it's not a full-on automatic parking. Down below, you actually have a Blu-ray player and a USB charging port. The Blu-ray is only on the Pinnacle model, but below that, you've got more USB charging ports, USB-A, USB-C, an auxiliary port. I talked about the wireless charging mat, extra storage mat. You can cover all that up down there if you want as well. It's just a big glossy black piece. I just leave it open. The cup holders are good size. Down here too, they have these rubber pieces that help hold smaller drinks in place. Not my favorite system. I kind of like the little plastic pieces. I feel like these are just going to wear out, but if you have one of these minivans, please let me know how they hold up. Right here, this big old armrest is also nice. It's pretty wide, which is good. And if we lift it up, we've got coin holders in here. You're looking a little retro in here. You got a 12-volt power outlet, more USB charging down there. It's not as deep as you would expect with some vehicles, but then you also still have extra storage down below. So there's a whole tray down there, plus that giant sliding bin back here that we talked about earlier. So some really nice storage cubbies and features overall. We also have a locking glove box. I like to be able to see that, especially who knows what you're going to put in there, but you can lock it up. With the Pacifica, you also have a grab handle on the passenger side. You just don't have one on the driver's side. So passengers, you can get some assistance there. Another thing about this Pinnacle model is we have this like ultra suede nice headliner in here as well. We've got a sunglass holder right there, and my personal favorite, your little spy mirror. It's a little family conversation mirror to where you can keep an eye on people and see them even if you don't have the fam cam. You're gonna get this right there, which is great. We also have this massive panoramic roof. Keep on sliding back. So that gives the second row passengers, third row passengers something to look out and give you a lot of open, airy feel in here. We've got an automatic dimming rearview mirror and garage controls on this particular model as well. And visibility, one thing about this minivan is you've got large windows. So that headrest is kind of in the way right now, but you can see out and check your blind spot better in a minivan than you can in most crossovers and SUVs. Now, one thing I want to mention with this plug-in hybrid model is that you can actually qualify for the $7,500 tax credit with this model. So if you qualify, you can take off that price from the purchase price. So that's great. It's nice that plug-in hybrid models can get that as well, and that this vehicle still qualifies. Now under the hood, you've got the 3.6 liter V6. It's 260 horsepower. Because of the hybrid setup, we've also got electric motors and a big battery that's gonna propel us down the road as well. Now, it can do pure electric of up to 32 miles, and then MPG is 30 combined. So combining city and highway, 30 MPG. But if you don't have to plug it, or if you don't have to drive very far at a time, like 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles a day, you might be able to go just on EV. So that's pretty cool. Okay, now with the standard cord, a level 1, like 110 volt, by the way, the charging door is on the driver's side over here. Door just opens up right here. I like this location as well. If you pull up front to your garage or something where you have your cord, it's easy to reach and plug it in. But charging time, if you want to fully charge this, with that cord, it's gonna be 14 hours. So for most people, that'll be enough. And obviously, if you don't get it charged up one night, you just use gas, you'll be fine. It's not like an EV where if you don't get it charged or you forget to charge, you're in trouble. You'll be totally fine. But you could use a 240 volt plug, which is what I've been using, to charge it in 2 hours. So you can be home for a break, charge it up, have all your EV charge or all your EV juice ready to go, and you're good. All right, y'all, we are now behind the wheel of this Pacifica, and it's been a while since I've driven some of the other minivans, so I can't compare all that well. I remember a lot of the features of them, but as far as driving impressions, it's a little bit hard to tell. I think that they all feel very similar. Obviously, you've got the same shape of the body. The plug-in hybrid will be a bit different. You've got more weight at the bottom of the vehicle. You've got the electric boost from this hybrid system as well. And we are in just electric mode right now. You can see that, oh, it just turned to hybrid mode. So the engine will kick on when it needs to where it can be hybrid or it can be electric. And it's totally silent in electric mode for the most part. You can see on the screen what it's doing. Right now we have 5 miles of electric range. When I fully charge it, there's been times it says I have 36 miles of electric range, but then it quickly goes down to like 32, 31, and then stays kind of consistent after that. As far as day-to-day driving this, it's easy to drive. It's fairly comfortable as well. I think that the ride is a little on the stiff side at times, and but like I said, I can't compare it to other minivans. It is still comfortable, but it's been a while since I've been in some others. We have a 2015 Toyota minivan, don't judge me, but I feel like the ride comfort is very similar to that, and I would expect it to be a little bit improved possibly, you know, over the years, but it's still comfortable nonetheless. I do really like this big bulky steering wheel, and obviously our 2015 model is not hybrid, it's not plug-in. That's a big benefit to this Chrysler model. We're in electric mode right now. As far as control over the electric plug-in hybrid mode, like some plug-in hybrids, you've got all kinds of buttons. Like you can save charge, you can charge it up, you can be just EV, you can be just hybrid mode. This one, it's pretty much dumbed down where you don't have to worry about it, you don't control it, you don't do anything and have control over anything. I wish you had more control. You can shift this into L, which is max regeneration. So it feels kind of like an electric car with a pretty aggressive regenerative braking setup. So if I let off the accelerator, it slows us down very quickly. It's not one pedal driving level like some EVs, but it's got the van set up to where it's going to regeneratively brake and capture as much energy as it can. You can shift in and out of that. That is the L function. I turned it off. Now if I put the pedal down, there's a little delay, but these have pretty good power. That's one thing about hybrids and electric vehicles, is they've got a good amount of torque that comes out quick. This still is not, it's not a confident highway passer. It doesn't have a ton of horsepower, but it's got good quickness, I should say. I said power earlier, but what I meant is like torque. It just feels torquey. It's good enough. In town, especially for getting going, getting out of your own way, it does a fine job. And overall handling, this does handle well for what it is. I think the fact that it is a hybrid and you've got the weight of the battery at the bottom of the vehicle can help out with that. But I've taken some corners and it doesn't feel like I'm gonna roll over. I mean, like some of the older vehicles of the 90s and early 2000s that were SUVs, minivans, those things you could roll over easily. These still feel really well planted for the modern day minivans. And the braking on here, some hybrids have really weird touchy braking. This one doesn't. It feels good. It feels natural. Like when you brake, you've got some regeneration coming back with regenerative braking. Then you've got real brakes. And this is totally fine. It's easy to modulate. Acceleration is fine. You know, the fact that it is a plug-in hybrid is the selling point for it. You lose some of the practicality with no stow and go in the second row, but you still have that fold flat third row. You've got good space in here. You've got some nice features as well, but it's starting to feel kind of dated, in my opinion. You've got several options for minivans, and they're all different. as far as their middle row and what their standout features are. But I'd love to know what you think of this Chrysler Pacifica. I still think it's a good option, whether you get the plug-in hybrid or the non-hybrid with those stow and go seats, which are huge. But I love the option of a plug-in hybrid to where you can plug in every day, hardly ever have to use any gas, and have that ability to still go long range. It's fantastic. Now, leave your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great day.